So to start this video, I quickly want to circle back to the leaked information I presented just the other day. Some people have been skeptical about this and it's understandable, but I want to clarify a few things. Now if you missed it, I have been informed that Sony received an early tech demo of Cyberpunk 2077. I received this information just about a week ago and I should have been much more in depth about everything involving this because some people don't understand why would Sony want to test the game when CD Projekt Red already has a PlayStation 4 dev kit. It's important to note that the reason why I originally brought up CD Projekt Red's Adam Kaczynski's comments on the engine being up and running in November of 2017, because that's when Sony apparently received the early tech demo. What I failed to mention is that it was an assumption on my part which console they were testing it for. My source did not mention if it was for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, or PlayStation 5, which is rumored to be in development right now. My source specifically stated to me that Sony wanted to test how the game's engine runs, and whether that's the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, I have not been told yet, but if I do, I will update you guys in the future. It's important to me that I make sure to get everything factually right, so I needed to clarify this, and again, I stand by my source who has provided proof to me, which is why I 100% know that this information is the truth of the current state Cyberpunk 2077 is in. But now we actually have some other huge news that we need to discuss and break down today. The next coming months for Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be very interesting. Following the recent tease on Twitter, it appears that many of us have overlooked an even bigger tease, and that comes via CD Projekt Red's own studio. The following information and images can all be found on Google Maps, in which it appears that in December of 2017, CD Projekt Red uploaded a full studio walkthrough, and we get a look at everything the studio offers, such as the mocap studio, gym, corridors, an audio room, and much more. But what's most intriguing within these images is the teases at Cyberpunk 2077. So to begin, within one of the images we can see that some of the doors are labeled with what's being worked on. This specific image that's on the screen right now has a door that's listed as being player and weapons, and the door next to it has world interactions, RPG, UI or user interface, and then in parentheses it's written a lot of gameplay coders. Within another image taken within this room, we can also get a look at some of the weapons they presumably have been modeling. We clearly have a little bit of everything with shotguns, assault rifles, submachine guns, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, handguns, and light machine guns. In another image taken within the motion capture studio, it also looks like we have someone being captured using a sword, which might I add again, these images all apparently were captured just last month. Additionally, in one image we can also see a giant poster of sorts for Cyberpunk 2077 that outlines the key points for the game. A few years ago this poster actually was leaked by some other people who were visiting the studio, and the poster appears to be the same one, listing off the following key points: RPG, nonlinear gameplay, tactical mode, 2 sandbox environments, Streets of Night City, interactive nonlinear scenes, low-level quest-based story, high-tech and cyberware, and finally brain dance. Now again, on the sides of many of the rooms we also have mentions to various things, some of which is in the cyberpunk world. From what I've found, these are some of the other things that are listed on the sides of certain rooms: Arasaka, Kabuki, CP, Haywood, Cavern, and Pacifica. So Arasaka actually is a mega corporation featured in Cyberpunk 2020, and is described as a huge Japanese company headed by a chief executive officer obsessed with making Japan into a superpower. Arasaka served as a Japanese diversified technology and security services firm. They played a major role within the game's story, and because of their long bitter rivalry with American military technology and mercenary services firm Militech, this led to the 4th corporate war in 2023. The war ended in 2024 when a low-yield tactical nuke the Militech team deployed set off a 2-kiloton self-destruct bomb Arasaka had placed in its own data core. This destroyed much of downtown Night City and contaminated the ruins and anything downwind of it with lethal fallout. So essentially, Arasaka played a key role in Cyberpunk 2020's events, and will probably play a key role once again in Cyberpunk 2077. On the other hand, Haywood and Pacifica relate to locations within Night City, with Haywood being described as a light industrial area that lies on the east of Del Coronado Bay, between Rancho Coronado and North Oak. Pacifica is a upper-class residential suburb of Night City. It is located alongside the cliff walls of the Pacific Coast. Now the other 3 rooms, CP, Cavern, and Kabuki, that are within CD Projekt Red, we don't actually know what they could be related to. Still though, it is quite interesting that these other rooms are titled as locations and corporations within Night City, which makes me wonder if they were maybe building or discussing these types of things. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. But continuing on, we also have the Psycho Squad logo being put on the glass of their offices, which is important because in early 2013, we got our first teaser trailer for Cyberpunk 2077, which showed how the Psycho Squad might acquire a new member. The scenario in the trailer was described as so. The Psycho Squad specializes in combating psychos, individuals who overuse implants and substances that boost or otherwise alter the human body. There comes a point when they overdose on these innovations and their bodies start to rebel against their biological body parts as well as all things organic around them. Simply put, they start killing people who they now derisively call meatbags. When a psycho goes on the rampage, strange things can happen. There's carnage, and the psycho might be taken down by regular police, but they're not always able to get the job done. When things spin out of control, they call in MaxTac, the Maximum Force Tactical Division, popularly called the Psycho Squad. What was also spotted within the studio is concept art that had long been rumored to be connected to Cyberpunk 2077. The artist, who had worked with CD Projekt Red and many other major studios in the past, had some eye-opening concept art on his portfolio, and it appears within CD Projekt Red on a computer. That very same art can be spotted, which may confirm that these images that come from a bar scene are connected to Cyberpunk 2077. Now, I also feel I should mention that CD Projekt Red has lost another notable employee. Jose Teixeira, a visual effects artist, left the studio in December of 2017. Some of you may recognize the employee because he made some intriguing comments on Cyberpunk 2077 in the past, one of which was that Cyberpunk is far bigger than anything else that CD Projekt Red has done before, far bigger. And additionally, he also said that The Witcher helped Cyberpunk quite a bit because the game got so big and so complex that it really taught us we really don't know what was going to happen. If anything, working on The Witcher 3 was a really good and often brutal learning experience. Cyberpunk is going to benefit greatly from it. I can almost guarantee it. We've talked at great lengths the problems that CD Projekt Red has had with employees, but seeing any departure is always disappointing, and I hope that Jose just left the company in a good spirit and not because some of the things that current and former employees have complained about. But anyway guys, thank you for joining me. If you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, make sure to leave a like and let me know down in the comment section below your thoughts on the CD Projekt Red studio images that give hints on Cyberpunk 2077. But also consider subscribing to stay up to date on everything Cyberpunk 2077, and I'll see you later.